Well, good evening, everyone. I'm James Bradford. I am the Northwest Fellow. And just to start off, sort of like an icebreaker to get everyone warmed up, uh, why don't everyone, if they want to say their name, what college you're particularly with, and as well as what new thing.
James, I think you cut out at the end there. What new thing? What was the end of your thought there? No, we can't hear you. All right, we'll give. Oh, I think you might be coming back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. All right, do you want to finish your thought?
So we just go around. One thing, climate related, your name, if you're with a college, which college you're at, and one climate thing or environmental thing that you either seen or done yourself this past week that is new. And if you haven't done anything that's new this past week or seen anything, what would you would have liked to actually seen or done? And we can start. Let's start with Mindy.
Of course. Hi, I'm Mindy Aller. I'm the Northwind Regional Director, and so I'm excited to be here to see James lead the call. So maybe that's a new climate-related thing that I get to see this week. I'm going to count that.
And you can, Mindy, just popcorn it around. We're just popcorn it around, so no order.
All right, I'll call on Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. I am a student at the College of William and Mary. I use she, her pronouns. And this might have been last week, but I created a TikTok edit of Carbajal and Fitzpatrick. It was like just not something maybe that should have even ever been made. I thought it was funny because I saw a political edit recently and I was like, that's so funny. So um yeah, made that for the first time. And I'll popcorn to Sindhu.
Hi, I'm Sindhu. I actually just joined. I had orientation for this meeting. So, I'm a sophomore at Tech, and so basically I'm taking a class right now. It's like part of my honors diploma where we have to come up with a project related to climate. So my group and I, oh, I think Stanley said something. Yeah, Virginia Tech. Um, my group and I were working on trying to find the impact of like us off campus students, like culture or like their impression on sustainability and health, on how it like impacts their overall food awareness and habits. So I've been kind of working on that past week. Oh, and then I guess I'll pass it on to Stanley.
Hello, my name is Stanley. This is not my first heat call, but I think this is the first heat call I've taken where I've been able to say that I am a student, um, or about to be a student. I'm about to go to the London School of Economics, so that'll be exciting. Woo! And I'll popcorn it to. Can I popcorn to Stephanie? Is this a thing?
Of course you can. Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie, she, her pronouns, and I live in Miami, Florida, but I'm no longer a student. Never, ever, ever again. I literally have run out of degrees I could try to get other than becoming a doctor or a lawyer, and neither of those are of interest to me. Something new I did for climate this past week, and God knows, Stanley, never. 10 out of 10 would not recommend a second PhD to anybody. So something new I did this week is we launched our GOAT campaign officially, our climate voting campaign, which I'll talk about more later in the call. But that was a pretty big deal. It's like my first official campaign with CCL that I've launched. Was a lot of help and support from the youth team and some students too. But yeah, that was a big lift, and I'm glad it is over. And I will popcorn it to Ellen.
Hi guys, my name is Ellen. I am a senior at New York University, and one climate action, I guess this is kind of a climate action. I've been needing like things to cover my leftover food with, and I've always been hesitant to buy saran wrap, so I bought beeswax this week, which has been really like a life changer, and it's also like just really cute. So that is something that I guess I've done, kind of related to climate. I will pass it to Laura.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura. I use she, her. This is not my my first heat call. I joined heat calls before. And okay, now this is gonna to also transition to my icebreaker is that I am accepted and almost committed to go to UC Irvine, and my thank you. My climate goal is that I'm trying to transition how to put out a chapter in UC Irvine. I think it's better to be I think it's better that way. And I'm just drafting about that plan now. So hopefully this will work. This will work. And then I'm gonna popcorn it to Hyrule.
Hi, thank you for calling on me. My name is Haru. I am a senior studying psychology this year at UT Austin, and this is my first I guess full term heat call. I popped on in the last 5 minutes of the last one a couple weeks back, which got the time zones mixed up on that. But I think a way I've seen sustainability put in action this week is I was able to table at a energy symposium that my university hosted, and I was able to talk to a lot of different aspects, like everything from like chemical engineering to like architectural sustainability, and was able to like see the multidisciplinary like cohesion and act, and in like industrial as well as academia worlds collide and combine. So I think that was a really cool experience. And let me popcorn to Mabel.
Thank you, Haru. Hi, everyone. My name is Mabel. I go to school at Concordia University in Austin, Texas. I am a senior majoring in environmental science and conservation. And, well, I'm a Third Coast Regional Fellow, so I pretty much do something indirectly related to climate change every day. What did I? Oh, yes. Today I sat in on the Texas State Policy team, and I will be writing a public, sorry, I haven't eaten very much today, a public comment for a hearing that's going on about the wildfires that have gone on in the Panhandle in Texas. And yeah, that's what I'll be doing later on this evening. And I popcorn to Emily.
And I'll popcorn to, because I already went to Lance.
Great, sorry y'all.
Yep, Lance. I'm in Georgia. I don't even know what the question is.
It is, what's something new that you've done for climate or the environment in the last week? And if you haven't done something new, what would you like to do?
I do a lot of gardening, but not as of late. Maybe I would go and perhaps like plant trees. I think that helps with carbon sequestration. That would help in some ways. I write a letter to the editor every month. I work in agriculture, environmental science, like monthly. So I do a lot, but I would like maybe grow trees. Yeah. If I was an inventor, perhaps I'd create like a more sustainable engine. So people wouldn't have to drive gasoline cars and that sort of thing. Um, I'm a popcorn. Who hasn't gone? Stanley?
I think the only one who hasn't is Serena yet, and fingers crossed your mom is done on the phone, Serena.
Yeah, I can go.
Yay,
Um,
perfect.
I'm Serena. I go to Michigan State. I've been joining Keat calls since last fall, and a climate action I've done is I'm on the Sunrise Movement Club at my school too, and we tabled to try to promote like a Green New Deal for MSU. So we have like certain demands that we're trying to get achieved. So yeah, I just spread awareness about that.
That's awesome. Thank you all for everything that you're
Okay,
doing.
that's probably gonna leave me.
Yeah, James, over to you.
Well, I'm James Bradford. I go to St. Paul College. It's not my first heat call. Um, I had a particular thought about climate environmental things. I'd say one of the things, if I didn't see something or participate in something, which I do every day, but what I would hope for would be everyone that was involved with climate environmental issues, which is everyone on the earth, to come together and understand it's not a political type of thing, and take the thing that either you like or love and think about how it affect it. So almost taking yourself out of the equation and understanding climate and environment, it affects everyone, regardless of what age you're at, regardless of income level, regardless of popularity level, um, and actually understand that it affects everyone. And if we don't continue to work towards it, it will hurt something that you like, love. In between, it affects everyone. So something that I thought about, if everyone puts their mind together to actually come up with a solution, regardless of political status or all those other type of things, as it affects everyone, what type of change that can actually help or better what you like, what you love, and not for yourself, for others, and how that ripple effect would actually make for a better world and a better place we live in. So uh, I try to contribute something, to policy and things of the nature, just a thought process. That was something that came to my mind. Like, what if everyone sort of took political and all the other things out of the way and just said, how can I help something that I love or I like, and see how it actually helps other individuals. So a little deep with it, but it was something that I thought how just envisioning how everyone can be happy um, and do the things that they like to do, how it affects a better world. So that's my thought as something I thought about, it just what I would hope to see happen. I think it's a great way when I actually envision how many people it can affect and how it can spread. And also, I'm posting the call tonight. So I have a game that I would like to play with. It's a climate game. One of them, it's sort of a card game. So we're going to play as a team together. But our goal as a team is collectively to make positive change in the world. So playing as a team, but we're making for positive change, in every action that each individual makes affects all of us. It affects all of us. And it's actually going to be two games intertwined into one. But we're striving for collective and passionate actions going on. So the first one's a card game. Everyone can see, I'm going to sort of hold up a card. One's going to have action. One's going to have an event. If it has a positive action, then we're going to combine it with another. Hear my screen. Can everyone see?
It is still loading.
And has anyone seen the Enroll Simulator before?
Yeah, I'm sure a few people on this call have.
Okay. So just generally, it's on the right increase will be if we kept things, and this is before the IRA envisions or anything of that nature, but what the temperature actually rise to by 2100 the year. Right side where I'm circling has that information. The left side where I'm circling now has the energy sources that are currently used by each by 20 years. Dark is coal, the red is oil, blue is gas, goes to renewables, bioenergy, and nuclear. And right here in this area where I'm circling, it's actually the greenhouse gas emissions. So what's going to happen during this game is we're going to pick a card. We're going to have an individual go. Pick a card. It's going to have either a positive action or a negative action. And if it's a positive action, that individual gets to move one of these sort of sliders. So just a quick, if I slide this over, you can see if it would actually change what's going to happen with our temperature. So what I moved was the transportation, how we get around in electrified vehicles. So if I move this over to highly subsidized items, you can see it didn't really make a change. It does though, because each thing is collective as an action. I want to see how far we can get this down. The Paris Agreement is 1.5 individuals on the call, and these two games combined, we can actually get it to 1.5 or below. And we'll go probably 10 minutes, take a break and talk about some of the actions that we did, and then we'll play another 10 minutes. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have you individuals should be able to go. I'm going to hold the cards up, and then you can just call the next individual. So we want to make sure we go kind of fast. I'll just start off with Stephanie. So for the first card.
I'm ready.
First card that came up says scale up solutions. Use power of scale and influence to solve the climate crisis and transform green economy. So that's a great card right there. So we use that. You're using your powers to influence and solve the climate crisis. So we're going to use that as a positive action. Which area in the Enroll Simulator would you like to change?
I would like to.
And it's separated energy sources, transportation, building growth, carbon renewals, a lot of different ones.
Yeah, I would like to try the afforestation under carbon removal.
So it came up low growth because specifically what that is, it takes a while for trees to actually grow to the size they need to actually start removing carbons out the air. But that's a great start right there. In every action, there's no wrong answer here. Every action contributes to actually solve climate change. Next person you'd like to pass it to?
I would like to pass it to Lance.
Right, Lance, gonna put up the next card as an action. It says switch to remote work. Reimagine meetings and commutes, save time, reduce costs, and lower CO2 emissions. Everyone wins with this, is what it says. Everyone wins with it. So we're gonna look at that as a positive action. And Lance, which Enroll slider would you like to move?
Can I pick transport?
Transport, all right. Energy efficiency, how we actually get around with our vehicles, or actually electrification.
Energy efficiency.
So we increase our energy efficiency, which has moved it down from 3.3 to 3.2 with those two actions right there. And you'll see as we start making these moves and we start actually reducing how our temperature is going to rise, you'll start seeing the changes actually within our temperature and our primary sources of energy. And Lance, you can pick the next individual, and these are event cards we have as well. So the next person actually is going to get an event card. So we're going to mix it up between action and event.
Okay, I'm popcorning to send who?
So here's the event card. It says disaster recovery right here. Disaster recovery is taking resources from fighting the causes of climate change. We treat the symptoms only and not the underlying disease. So what that happens, that's a negative action. We'll look at that. So what that happens, if we get one of those, then we don't have an actual action to move that particular time. So no move that particular time for you. Remember, we're trying to get this down as slow as we can and the most efficient and as quick as we can for just this particular game. So no action for you for that particular one, but you pick the next individual and we'll go with another action card.
I'll pass it on to Emily.
All right, Emily, another action card. This one is befriend your representatives. Encourage and support your elected officials in making climate positive policy. So that's a positive action right there. Positive action. So we're moving another one of the sliders. So which one would you like to move?
I'm gonna go carbon price.
Price. Okay, so that really dropped it down to 2.7. And you see with the price on carbon, how much our renewables are. So we moved our renewables up, and coal, it went down. And the next card is going to be an event card. So great call right there. Who would you like to call up next?
I'll go Stanley.
Stanley. All right, Stanley, you got an event card. So see what this is. It says billions of tons of CO2 become food for forests. Planet animal actions are free this term. So what that means, that's a positive action. And when you get a positive action on the event card, you actually get 2 moves of the sliders. So Stanley, actually have 2 moves. What 2 sliders would you like to move?
Did I put them both into the carbon price?
Both of them. All right, 1, 2. So we have a very high carbon price right now, and it dropped it all the way down to 2.4 degrees. And what you see is that there is a big amount of renewable energy going on that we're using right now. When I look at this, I see more towards the beginning of the new century. So if we can get some actions, when you think about which slider you want to move and see if we can get something moving even bigger between 2040 and 2060. But you can see the difference on here, just how much it moves. So we know we got carbon pricing right there. Stanley, who would you like to call next for action?
Can we go with Ashford?
Action card says eat a plant-rich diet. We could reduce our food production emissions by 63% if we ate vegetarian or 70% if we ate vegan. So that's a positive action. And my slider reset. So let me move this back. And let me know which actual move you would like to go as well.
And that was for Ashreef, right?
Yes. Ashreef, can you hear?
You might be having some audio issues. Okay, he said not sure the rules. I joined later. So Ashreef, you can choose any of the sliders to have James move. So which of these climate solutions would you want to implement?
I moved the natural gas.
Natural gas. All right, so we're taxing natural gas, so it's very highly taxed. as we see, it didn't really move anything as to the degrees that we're lowering it by, but it's going to start making a big amount as you see later on how much people actually use natural gas. So that's what you can pick another individual, just any individual, and then we'll get an event card for that particular.
Yes. I take Alan.
So we have an event card. What this says is a season of strong hurricanes causes a heartbreaking amount of damage and loss of life. So with this particular one, we have a negative aspect, so no actual turn, no chance to move the sliders. What I will do though, does anyone have any questions as any of the sliders, what they specifically mean as the energy sources or anything of that nature?
I'm assuming new zero carbon means renewable technology that hasn't been invented yet.
Correct, correct.
I think Laura has a question too.
Laura?
What does bioenergy mean in this? Because I think it's really balanced. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
As bioenergy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember, all of the sliders are a combination of actions that are making the changes. So it's not one particular one that's making all the action, making all the changes. Bioenergy is using that as a resource and actually taxing that. So it's more expensive to actually use it. That will actually make a different type of change in there. So I won't do it because we're in the game on the slider at the moment. But if we tax it or reduce it and make it either more expensive for producers use or least expensive, it's going to have that particular change amount as the energy. So right now, you see, as you said, it's pretty balanced because we haven't really done anything with it, but it's not a wide used resource at the moment. So that's one of the things that's great for you to say that, because that's one of the things we can look at is we start using more bioenergy, how that can actually affect our energy sources and see if it'll actually reduce one of the other sources as well.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Thank you.
How about we go two more action turns, and then we'll take a break. So do you want to call on someone else?
Go ahead, Emily. Were you going to nominate somebody?
Oh, I was. I could nominate someone.
Nominating yourself counts, I guess.
Can I? Wait. Ellen, have you gone yet?
No, I haven't.
Ellen, I nominate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So here's the next action card. So it's make climate trendy. Use social media and personal influence to make climate cool again. So that's a big one. That actually goes under a positive action. Where would you like to move the slider?
Increase renewables.
All right. So increase renewables. So means we subsidize it. So it made it least expensive to actually use those. You see, it didn't really move our temperature, but it's still, you see, we're using a lot of renewable energy right now. It's our main source the later we get into the century. And who would you like to call for our last card at the moment?
I don't know if Mabel is still here. But if Mabel is not here and eating, okay, Mabel is here. Perfect. Mabel.
All right, Mabel, last one for the breaks on you. Action card says reduce food waste. Said the food we waste is responsible for roughly 8% of all our global emissions. So reducing food waste is a positive action, but that's also one that I look at, want to think about how much it actually affects just our global emissions, how much just it's wasted, and how many individuals actually need food. So that's a great card right there, Mabel, and a great one to go into the break. Uh, which action on the sliders would you like to be moved?
I would like to see deforestation go away.
All right. So moving that, so moderately reduced it. So we did get it down to 2.3. So that's a great job from 3.3, and we're almost 1.5. Something that I would like to show everyone. When I look at this, sometimes I like to look at the impacts, and I look at the impacts on what we're actually looking at now. And you can see over here how much, as we're starting to make the temperature actually go down, how much the impact moves. So the black line is what it stay, the blue is the current scenario, what we're actually moving to. Would also like to show as well on the impacts, is I like this particular one, air pollution from energy. So just what we're at now shows that we send air pollution almost non-existent, like reduces a lot. So just one of the things that we look at, like when I look at this and I see the PM 2.5, the parts per million, uh, those are particular things I look at as when we do these actions, besides just making moves on the actual levers, but how many different areas it actually affects. So I like to actually look at the impacts on things, um, especially some of our individuals that are by water. Ocean acidification comes down as well. So those are the things that I sort of look at. We start making impacts on some of these things. So just another thing to look at as we sort of go into these and we start making moves in our actions as we're actually getting down to 1.5 and below. So who is, let's see, we'll go about seven or eight more cards. Mabel, who would you like to call next?
How about Stanley? Go for it.
Stanley, you have an action card. So this one actually says switch banks. It said move your money to a bank that doesn't fund the fossil fuel industry. So you actually switch banks. So that is a positive move right there, Stanley. What slider would you like to move?
Urban prices.
All right, so we have carbon price very high as we can get it, lowered it to 2.2 degrees. As you see, with price that high on carbon, that we basically aren't using coal any longer by the 21st century. So that's a great move. Stanley basically took away all the carbon pricing ones. The next card is going to be an action card, and it's going to be a bonus. If it's a positive action, the individual gets 2 actions on the slider. If it's a negative one, then we actually will move one of our sliders back. So big choice on you, Stanley, who you're going to call next.
I'll call Stephanie.
Let's see. Action card says rewild the world, restore ecosystems so they are more resilient and sequester carbon. So we'll look at that as a positive action right there. You're restoring the ecosystem, which is greatly important. Where would you like to move to?
This card was made for me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's bring down deforestation by 1 and let's increase building electrification by 1.
So right there, 2.2. As you see, it starts moving down more than 20, close to the new century 2100. So we are highly reducing deforestation. So great move right there. And I actually like that you start going into our buildings and our industries. We haven't touched some of those sliders yet. Stephanie, next card is going to be an event card. And who would you like to pass it to?
I would like to pass it to Serena.
Serena,
Hi,
event
sorry.
action.
Yeah, my connection's been in and out a little bit. What kind of card do I have to pick?
You have an event card. So read it, see what it says, if it's positive or negative. So it's
Okay.
infectious disease. There's many diseases and critters that spread them, like ticks or mosquitoes, thrive in warmer weather. Tropical diseases spread globally. So that's a negative action. So there's no move on that one. Or no move on that one.
Okay.
So no slide move, but you do get to pick the next individual for the action.
Okay. I will pick Lance.
Answers the event card, vote climate. Polarize climate and vote for politicians who share your values, creating climate positive policies. So that's positive action. So pick one individual that we can move this slide. Lance, you there? Lance might be having audio issues. Someone want to actually pick a slider to move for him, as it's a collaborative game.
Don't we see a decrease in population?
Right, so we're down to 2.1. So we have two more. We're gonna do two more cards. These cards is, if it's positive action, you get to move a slider all the way over, all the way over. So these are our big money right here. So label, since you just move that slider, who would you like to pick next?
How about Hyru?
So this one is for a whole slider to be moved over completely. It's the action card. We have in fossil fuel subsidies to stop using taxes to support the fossil fuel industry. You save hundreds of billions to invest elsewhere. So that is a positive action to move a slider all the one over, either one we've already started moving or a new one.
Could I use to increase nuclear then if we're decreasing oil and coal?
So you want to tax it more?
Sorry?
So move this slider, either we're subsidizing and making it cheaper.
So we're desubsidizing oil and coal, right? And then we could increase subsidies on more renewables or nuclear, right? Sorry if I'm a little confused.
No, you're fine. So you want nuclear, either tax it very high or subsidize it.
Subsidize nuclear.
Subsidize 2.1. Who would you like to pick for our last card?
Has anybody not gone yet? Okay. I'll popcorn it back to Laura then.
This is our last card, and we're moving one all the way, a slider. If it's a positive action, and since I have been pulled on myself. It's a positive action, or you get to move a slider all the way over, and I get to move a slider all the way over, since it's collaborative action. So last card, this is fund innovation. Use public and private funds to support innovation in new climate solution businesses. So that is positive action. We're using public and private funds to support that. So Laura, we're gonna tag team this and get double sliders moving here. So which one would you like?
I think let's move energy efficiency.
Are we moving that in our buildings, industry, or our transportation?
Building and industry.
So wow. So you see that brought it down to 2.0, which you see how our energy usage went completely down. So we're using them way more efficient. So how about see? So I'm gonna be the last move. So let's see this move out closer to the 1.5. So reducing our methane use, we're always to 1.7. So that's a good job right there to get it down to 1.7 from 3.3. But what we're gonna do is, anyone have any questions with just the moves, so you can see sort of how a combination of different things, regardless of which industry it's in, how it actually affects all these actions positively moving something down. But does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, these are two separate games. So definitely, if we play one individual, it'll be definitely a lot more to go into it. So just wanted to sort of see these two different games and get us thinking about how these actions actually contribute to climate change and reducing it, and how many different ways that you actually positively can affect it. I said, I don't really think there's a negative way that you can, along since positive action takes a collaboration. So what I'm gonna do just real fast before I pass the steps, Stephanie, as I said, I like to show the impacts. So what I'm gonna take a look at, air pollution from energy, where it's at now. You see how much that gap got even bigger. Just where we're at now, we got to do 1.7. Also as well, sea level rise as we sort of stop that. So people that's on the coast definitely appreciate that. The sea level is not going to rise at all, or it is, but not particularly to that amount. And also, as you see, this is sort of like our agriculture. So how much it actually affects our food industry. So you see how much we actually decrease, and how much our crop is the temperature, it actually decreases a lot. So even just the simplest thing, think about food. Some of these things shows that how much of a percentage that it affects. Remember, one of the cards was that 8% of food actually contributes to climate changes on wasted food. So increasing those helps a lot. So those are the things I wanted to show. Let's definitely go ahead and actually take over the call now. I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. That was a lot of fun. And it totally checks out that card game was developed by a CCL volunteer, because that's super on brand for them. Thank you for bringing that to us and for combining it with En-ROADS and showing us that simulator in a really different context. It was a lot of fun. And we didn't quite make it to 1.5, but we got it pretty dang close. So I'm proud of us. Way to go, team. All right, so we don't have a huge amount of time left in the call, but I did want to just create some space for Serena to share a little bit about a survey she's been working on and would like our help on.
Yeah, hi. So I will be presenting data on how partisan identity affects opinions on certain climate policies for the research fair that my school is having in a couple weeks. It's on Friday, April 12th. So I'm like working on like the background research of the poster, but I'm still gathering data for it. And I can't really tell you guys what I'm trying to prove with the data because I feel like that would ruin the integrity of the survey. But when the poster's done, I'll be so excited to share it with you guys. And CCL is actually what inspired the topic. So yeah, I think it would be great. I will tell you guys that if you have friends or if you yourself are more right leaning, I would really appreciate you to fill out the survey just so my data is like more balanced because I want to hear like a variety of perspectives. But yeah, it just takes like 2 minutes if you guys want to do it now and also spread it around. I would love that. So yeah, thank you. Oh, and I know you emailed me and asked if all ages could fill it out. Yes. There's no limits on who can fill it out. The only limit's that you can only fill it out once.
I think you have a question from Stanley.
This is a question for Serena. When you say public health, do you mean the public health of like Americans or the public health of people generally?
Either or, because I'm like focusing on America specifically, but you could think about the world as a whole or America. Because I feel like our actions, like in this country at least, affects a lot of different other countries. So yeah.
All right, I just filled it out. It takes literally a minute, y'all. No excuses. Thank you so much, Serena, and best of luck with your research project. I can't wait to hear what you find out, and hopefully we can get some more balanced responses for you. Since it is open to all ages, I'll reach out to our conservative team and see who they can push it out to as well.
All right, great. Thanks so much.
Of course. All right, that's what the team is for. Great. So as we wait, how did Stanley do that? Oh, my Zoom is not cool enough to do fireworks when I'm excited about something.
Wait, what did I do?
You did like a something with your hands and Zoom like did a whole like graphic thing with, but it'll never happen again because we called it out. Wow. Okay. Zoom being that way tonight. All right. So the other update I wanted to share with you all is to give you an update on some April actions and campaigns. So I'm gonna kick it off with a pretty big deal, our CCL National Action, which you will be hearing a lot more about in the coming days. With some inspirational words to kick us off from, might need to reshare my screen with audio. From a familiar and very friendly face, Dr. Catherine Hayhoe. And so hopefully you'll be able to hear this.
Hi, CCL. My name is Catherine Hayhoe. I am one of your science advisors, and I am so happy to be able to speak with you again because I heard something phenomenal. I heard that during the month of April, Earth Month, so to speak, you have set a goal to have 25,000 conversations about climate change. And I know you can do it. Why? Because it's been done before. Last year, I was invited to speak at Brigham Young University. Now, some of you may know that for many years I lived in Lubbock, Texas, which is the second most conservative city in the country, and Provo, Utah is the #1 most conservative city in the country. And the students at BYU said, well, if she's coming to tell us to talk about climate change, why don't we see how many conversations we can have before she came? So in September, I was coming in November, they set out to have climate conversations and they ended up having over 25,000 of them, but they did it in 3 months. And I am very sure that you can do it in 1 month. Why? Because you already know how to have these conversations. Begin with something that you have in common with people, something they already care about. Connect the dots to how what you both care about means that you care about climate change too, whether it's your children or gardening or the place that you live or a healthy economy. And then always bring in positive, constructive solutions. And that is what CCL majors in. Not only putting a price on carbon, which we all know is absolutely essential to reducing our carbon emissions within our economy, but also the changes that each of us can advocate for in our personal lives, in the cities and neighborhoods and organizations that we're part of, the places where we work or we study or we worship. All of us can catalyze change by doing one simple thing, having a conversation that connects what we know in our head to why we care in our heart to what we can do with our hands. So as April begins, I want to track, I want to hear about, I want to know how many of these conversations you're having that connects our head to our heart and our heart to our hands to show people that who they already are is the perfect person to care about climate change.
All right, so the challenge is really simple: to have as many conversations about climate change as you can have in April. There's a couple of different ways to go about this. Obviously, it's Earth Month, as Dr. Hayhoe said, so there will probably be lots of activities happening in your communities. You might even be planning some of them. So when you are at those activities, this is the coolest part about this campaign, which is going to get very little attention because it's a cool, geeky, techie thing that makes all the difference in the world. If you go to cclusa.org/conversations, you will find a brand new way to track an action that is so stupidly easy. It is so convenient. So anytime that you have a conversation during the month of April, we want you to come to this webpage and track your action. And when I say ridiculously easy, all you have to do is pick how many conversations you had from this list. I'm just going to do one because I've had one today, and click log your conversation. And that was it. That was literally all it took. If you can do this even if you are not a CCL volunteer. So in my case, it didn't ask me for any follow-up information because I'm already logged in. But if you're not logged in, it will just ask you for your name. And that's it. That's the end of the survey. Your name and how many conversations you had. So there's literally no excuse to not track your actions. Not all of CCL's action trackers are going to be this easy, but this is a pilot to see how many other actions we can roll this out to. So use it wisely, give us feedback. You'll see as soon as you submit it, there's also a survey that we'd love for you to fill out. That's more about how the conversations went, but you're welcome to give feedback on using that action tracker as well. And another way to have those conversations is, of course, to get involved with the Climate Go campaign, which is now officially launched. And for the month of April, the challenge, the Triple April Challenge, is to have 3 conversations a week with people that you know. Ideally with people in your same age category, younger folks. We're going to have plenty of time over summer to talk to family members, but we won't see our classmates as frequently in the summer months. So for now, focusing on talking to your classmates, your peers, 3 times per week, 3 different people every week, and trying to recruit 3 people, hence Triple April. So we're going to triple our impact this month. And if you did not have the link for that, for getting involved with the election campaign that we're running, that GOAT campaign, you can sign up here. Another great example of an action that takes literally a minute, and you'll get action alerts when we're all ready to take the next step. So you'll be able to see our collective impact, back to James's game of doing these things together. So we are about 2 minutes away from the end of time. I'm so sad a bunch of people have had to drop off because we didn't get to take a group picture with everybody on. But if you are still on the call and would like to be in our group photo for today's call, please come on camera. Give everybody a minute to. All right, looks like people have already gone to bed. Hey, Ellen. Nice to see you. All right. I think that's everybody we're gonna get. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Stanley, your enthusiasm just cannot be contained by a Zoom screen. I love it. Thank you all so much. Some quick reminders. for the month ahead. Obviously, it is Earth Month, so get out there, be having these conversations with people. But also don't forget to have fun with it. James, thank you so much for reminding us how like powerful it is to be having fun while talking about climate solutions and literally be smiling the entire time. And the chat was really fun also, like everybody rooting, cheering each other on. It's a great example of coming together. We do have our strategy call on the third Monday of the month again, so that'll be on April 15th. There's still tons of resources that I would love to ship out to you wherever you are in the country. So if you want CFD stickers, I got you. If you want Littlest Climate books, I got you too. Those would be great for tabling this month, or any outreach activities you're doing for Earth Month. So the links are on that action sheet again. So I'll just put the action sheet link in the chat again under the wrap up and announcements. So if you want books, if you want stickers, if you want gift cards, just fill out those forms. And the last very important reminder and a very big announcement, which I wish we had a form ready for you already, but the very important reminder is summer conference registration is live. If you want to join us in DC this June, early bird registration ends, I want to say on Sunday, I think. There are scholarships for folks who identify as BIPOC or from a different marginalized community. There are scholarships for folks who identify as right of center / conservative. And for the first time ever, we have some scholarships for students under 18 and college students. So I don't have the form for that yet because I literally just got permission to start advertising it, but we have it, we have the money. As soon as I have the form ready, I will send it out to all of you to be able to apply. And please feel free to share it with your network so we can fund a few people. We don't get to cover all of your expenses, but at least we want to try to help. So stay tuned for more information on that. And I hope I will see as many of you as possible in summer, in June for the conference. And I look forward to seeing you all in May for our higher ed call on May. I think it's gonna be May 4th. Does that sound slightly right? First Monday of the month. Well, that information is clearly outdated on the action sheet. Whatever the first Monday of May is, May 6th. I will see you there. I was very excited it was going to be Star Wars Day, and it was not. May 6th, we'll see you, and we'll get to catch up on all of the amazing Earth Month activities you did, all the climate conversations you had, and celebrate everyone who's graduating. Which I know is going to affect a few people, but yes, I'll see you then. And if anybody has any questions, anything you need to catch up on, I'll hang on for a few minutes, but I will stop the recording. And thank you all for being here tonight. And thank you to James for hosting.